Radio, PA1 Radio. PA1 Radio, PA1 Radio. Basta all hits, all Pinoy. Kahit nasaan ka man, ito'y mapapakinggan. PA1 Radio, PA1 Radio. 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 PA1 Radio, PA1 Radio.
Almighty God, grant us the courage of Jesus Christ, your Son, to face the coronavirus pandemic with trust, strength, compassion, and resiliency. Give us the grace of the Holy Spirit to free us from fear and anxiety, so we may do actions of help and support and look forward to our healing with hope. We pray for the health workers, food liners, maintenance cleaners, logistics abler, government leaders, and volunteers who continuously come together to deliver our daily needs to survive. Guide us from this time of crisis. Preserve us in peace. Protect the weak and vulnerable, and those who serve the society during this pandemic. This we ask and pray in Jesus' name, our Savior. Amen. Naghahatid saya sa mga Pinoy, mga kantang tatak Pinoy. Kahit nasan ka man, kami ay mapapakinggan. Streaming worldwide, the future of radio in Manila, California, and Hong Kong. This is V81 Radio.
Malayo ka man sa iyong pamilya, dito ay hindi ka nag-iisa. Yak ito'y iyong hahanap-hanapin, dahil ito ang nagpapasaya sa atin. Ito ang radio ko, PA1 Radio, PA1 Radio. Dahil mahal namin kayo, PA1 Radio, PA1 Radio. Para sa inyo ito, V81 Radio. Ito ang paborito ng bawat Pilipino. Basta all hits, all Pinoy, panalo. Merong kwentong iyakan at tawanan. Kahit nasaan ka man, ito'y mapapakinggan. Oh, V81 Radio, V81 Radio. Ito ang radio mo, ito ang radio ko. V81 Radio, V81 Radio. Dahil mahal namin kayo. V81 Radio, V81 Radio. Para sa inyo ito, V81 Radio. Ito ang radio mo, ito ang radio ko. Dahil mahal namin kayo. Para sa inyo ito, V81 Radio.
The views and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the program anchors and producers and do not necessarily reflect the policies and position of this station. Samahan na natin si Rachel Bonus at Raul Santos dito sa KPI, Kaunlaran at Pagbabago para sa inyo. Dito lang yan sa V81 Radio Worldwide.
Hello, good afternoon to all our followers wherever you are, whether you're in the country, that's good afternoon, or other parts of the world, like in California, where we have followers, good morning, and for the others, I think it's still good morning. Okay, let's call in Raul. Welcome to Kaunlaran at Pagbabago para sa inyo, where we discuss what changes are happening elsewhere. Hi.
Yes,
So
good
we
day,
are
everyone.
mid-July already, right smack into the middle of the year. Can you
Yes,
imagine that?
indeed.
And it's me before, even before the pandemic, for years, whenever May is finished, I feel that Christmas is just around the corner and I should start.
Really? May pa lang?
Yeah!
Bago pa yung mga mall, yung mga
parang
mall, di ba?
bilis.
Parang paaga ng paaga. Before it was October, then naging
Yes,
September,
per month.
then August. Minsan
Yeah,
August na di ba? Ikaw May
Yeah,
pa lang, July pa lang.
Eh, kasi by the time school years kicks in, parang everything just goes so fast. But now, it's still a little uncertain because there's an increase in COVID cases, and a lot of people you don't know anymore. Now they have declared it is airborne.
Yep.
Because
More and more evidence. Actually, although ever since, that's really how, ever since that was really my gut feel eh. It's just that parang I think yung WHO medyo delayed yung, di ba? Parang ewan ko kung in denial or ano, but my personal opinion, even back then, it was probably airborne eh.
Yeah, because what I couldn't distinguish back then was, kung hindi airborne, so nasan yung particles? But they were saying kasi the particles were a little bit heavy, that it was bound to fall by the time it reaches a particular distance. But now they're saying, especially in enclosed spaces, which you can imagine, especially if it's air conditioned, it would be lingering around for several more minutes. And if you're not wearing a mask, pwede mo siyang malanghap.
Yeah, I even saw that video. I'm not sure if you saw that. There was a video that came out, but I saw it maybe a couple months ago. na yung parang the first cases or one of the first very few cases here in the Philippines. That's what happened. Parang they were in a restaurant. There was one person who was positive,
Yeah.
and the air conditioner was the air from the air conditioner was going this way, for example. So
Right.
everyone in that line that was hit
Yes.
by the air conditioner, they all became positive after that.
Yes.
Tapos the rest of the other people from the other tables were not.
Yeah,
Grabe.
nakaka-confuse kasi. Now they're saying if you're asymptomatic, it's more highly likely that you're not infectious, that you won't be able to pass it on. Because
Really?
asymptomatic ka naman. Yes, there's a study like that WHO has come out with yesterday. They had a press briefing.
But you're
80%
sort
of
of
the time,
go ahead, sorry.
80% of the time, the asymptomatic ones are not infectious, but there's still the 20%. And what if you fall in the
Yeah.
20% of passing it on to someone with a bad immune system?
Exactly.
So,
That's my point. If because you might not be as infectious, but if you're around someone whose immune
weak.
system is super weak,
Yeah.
then yeah, diba?
Yeah. And, you know, that this week has been momentous because, alam mo naman, parang, you know, even if we are a small country, we're always hitting Time magazine for some controversial reasons
But of
from,
course, it's more
yeah,
fun in the Philippines.
yeah, it's more fun in the Philippines indeed. Eh, before, di ba, yung, naalala ko tuloy talaga yan. Kasi my daughter was about 6 years old and we were going to Boracay. Tapos nag-count out yung air conditioning in Naiya. And then
Right.
it was so hot and she was going, whoever said it's more fun in the Philippines, it's definitely not fun here. Because we came from a cold country and then where
Yeah.
everything was working
Sounds like my wife.
efficiently. Yeah, like, so she was ranting, but you know, like we're always hitting global news from People Power, from Ferdinand Marcos, People Power,
Right.
Ressa, because
Mm-hmm.
of Rappler, and then now the ABS-CBN news. So
Yep.
not to be political about
Always
it,
making history.
yeah, we're making history, we're written in history all over and speaking, and not to be political about it, but I have friends working in ABS, so it's
Right.
very
Same here.
uncertain on what will
Yeah.
happen, whether
That's
they
right.
are in I-1, because we know naman the cash cow is really the advertising, just like in Facebook.
Yeah.
So what will happen, because they're largely subsidized also, all the other arms, like from
Right.
I-1 TV to the ABS-CBN Foundation.
Oh.
So we don't know. Although they're migrating to the internet, but we
Mm-hmm.
still don't know. They can be, you know, they can be taken from them. So speaking of historic, we were
Ooh.
both saying that our episode today is so exciting because we're going to the far north. It's
Yeah.
very rich in history, and we'll find out more. Have you been to Ilocos?
No, no. No, haven't been, but we worked with um like I worked on a government project back in like 2010
Okay.
um with a congresswoman in Ilocos then.
Not in Congress anymore.
It was in Lanao. Lanao is in that area, no?
Okay. Also, before we introduce, we of course we're getting already viewers from Lawag. Hi to Bernadette
Yeah.
Ligot.
All the
Hello,
fans.
thank you. Ang ganda-ganda sa inyo. Because I've been there.
Oh, you've
You
been.
need, yeah, you need a week. I've seen the windmills, which is breathtaking because parang ang laki, and then parang it's never ending. Uh, and also pagod food, which is beautiful. Although hindi ko nakita yung white sand. There's supposed to be a portion there na white sand.
Kapagod food.
The waves are wonderful. I've never seen a beach like that. It's just beautiful. Para sa movie. And because we used to have a store there in the San Nicolas yata. San Nicolas
Okay.
area. And of course, there's the Crisologo, but that's in Vigan. We're off to Luwag. The Calle Crisologo, which is so historic, the cobblestones. Aside from Port
Right.
Bonifacio, I haven't seen anything like that. We also have Vilma Castillo from Batak City. Yan ba ang bad?
Batak.
Yes. And then there's Nelson Lacadin from Northern Christian College because that's another guest. And this Mark Naling, who is my coach, fitness coach, and a very good
Oh,
choreographer.
okay. Wow.
Yes. Hello to Coach Biz. So anyway, yung isa pa nating guest is the president-elect of Northern Christian College.
That's right.
And we are,
Very, very good energy, that woman.
yeah, and we
You'll
are,
you'll get to experience her energy later.
yes, hi, she's so lovely also. And Xavier also, actually, hindi mo siya na-meet kanina.
I wasn't able to meet no, but it's a
Yeah.
good first time to meet.
Yeah, so I was saying that they're both so articulate. It's so nice to talk to them. I mean, they can just go on, and I can just listen. They're so interesting. Um, and also, hello, Coach Biz. And also, yung Northern Christian College kasi, this has been a concern in the school of my daughter. Why aren't they returning unused part of the tuition fee, particularly those na miscellaneous fees, which is unused. Like, for
Right.
example, if it
But
was
it's not
supposed to
if it's
be,
not gonna be used naman eh.
yeah, like if it's field trip and the field trip never happened, retreats
Right.
that never happened. But it's so amazing that this Northern Christian College was able to return part of their tuition fee that were unused and still gave salaries to the tuition all throughout the summer when ECQ happened.
Nice.
So we'll find out more when we come back, and let us just say first hi to Ira Lazo. Kapuno Lazo, she's a student
Hi.
from Lawag. Regards to Dr. Paraan and her family. All right, so when we come back, we will show already the video, tourism video of the beautiful, divinely beautiful Ilocos, and we will have Xavier Ruiz, who's the tourism officer of the province.
All right.
Okay.
Don't go
See you.
anywhere.
Don't go away.
See you in a bit.
Babalik ang KPI, Kaunlaran at Pagbabago para sa inyo sa V81 Radio Worldwide. kabayan, naho-homesick ka ba? I-download na ang aming mobile app at mag-enjoy sa mga kantang Tatak Pinoy and feel like you're home. The V81 Radio mobile app, available in the App Store and Google Play Store. V81 Radio mobile app, free now, free forever. Tunog Pinoy, Tatak Pinoy, the future of radio. This is your all hits, all Pinoy internet radio station. This is V81 Radio Worldwide.
Ito ang paborito ng bawat Pilipino. Basta all hits, all Pinoy, panalo. Merong kwentong iyakan at tawanan. Kahit nasaan ka man, ito'y mapapakinggan.
Hi there, we are back. And
Oh, wow, all right.
okay, he was stuck reading something. We are live, but if you want to catch us again, and especially our guests who are so interesting, whether it was from a previous episode or from this episode.
Doesn't matter what episode.
Yes, we are on demand. You can either go to the YouTube channel of V81 and look for Kaunlaran at Pagbabago para sa inyo. Please subscribe because there are so many other to the channel. There are so many other shows. That's very meaningful.
For any interest, any topic, I think there's for love, there's for culture, there's for LGBTs, there's for
hugot.
For who, grabe. Like, name it, we got it.
Yeah, for alternative music. Also,
that's right. For business, for MSMEs, for startups, for tech, like really anything under the sun, we probably have it.
Okay. Yeah, and also where else are we available? We have the app.
Spotify is upcoming.
Yes, soon Spotify. We are in Amazon Echo. You can just spell Alexa. KPI to play KPI. That's cool though.
High tech.
Yeah.
Oh, looks like so. Oh, you disappeared, Rachel.
Yeah, I know. Kasi mahina yata yung internet. And then, our internet is something to be had. That's what we will ask also, how the homeschooling will be handled by Northern Christian College later.
Imagine that.
Yeah, and also going back to where we are, of course, there's the V81 FB Facebook page where they can watch it on demand. There's even a blooper I want to show of you. Nakakatawa kasi you were clapping and then parang binawi mo. I'll show you first before we give it to the tech to publish. And also there's a KPI page on Facebook.
Binawi akong clap? Parang hindi ko naalala yun. Hello? Yeah, well, anyway, so we are available on we're accessible through Facebook, Amazon, yun nga through Alexa, just download the app. But also, we can now probably bring in our guest, and that is tourism officer for the provincial tourism office for the provincial government of Ilocos. That's Xavier Ruiz. Can we bring in Sir Xavier? Hello?
Inyo-KPI, Kaunlaran at Pagbabago para sa inyo sa V81 Radio Worldwide.
Whoa. First
Hello, everyone. Yeah, it's just like,
we were just talking about internet connection, and then all
yeah,
of a
that's
sudden,
why. That's why. Because you can never say anything. I was watching Secretary Ramon Lopez. They were having a roundtable discussion with the Wallace consultants. And then I think this Wallace guy was saying, you know, how bad the internet connection is here. And then just right that moment when he said it, you know, he went
we
offline.
attracted it.
Yeah, and then Secretary Lopez said, yan, kasi sinabi niya mahina ang internet connection. Tinanggalan tuloy siya. Dapat ang person to sa joke. So we should never say. It should be unnamed already. All right. Is it possible to show first our video before we call in our tourism officer?
Oh, that's right, the video.
Yeah, the wonderful video showing the beautiful Lawag. All right. Is this okay?
So,
how about the slide so that we can start off from there?
okay.
Okay. All right. So can we? Yes.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Can we?
So we can just bring in.
Yeah, we can just bring in Xavier first and find out.
All right,
Xavier.
there he is.
Hello, thank you.
Hi, Xavier. Good afternoon.
Thank you for joining us. So, Xavier, how long have you been again with tourism office?
Well, I don't want to talk about years because, you know,
it'll date
mahal pa
you.
yung age. But,
Hindi naman halata.
Hindi, not at all. Actually, not at all.
Yeah.
But did you start off your...
Thank you for that. But I've been...
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. Can you guys hear me? It started raining also here in Lawag now. So on the note of internet, when it rains, you know what happens.
Oh no.
Fingers crossed, walang mangyayari. But yeah, I've been working with government for more than 9 years now. So right after graduation, there's a small time frame for doing rackets in tourism. I was actually a freelance tour guide during my college days. Yeah, before.
And also in Lawag, I would imagine.
Yeah, Lawag to Vigan. The Ilocos, the entire Ilocos tour stretch. Yeah. So yun, then a few months after graduation, suddenly I'm already in government service now. It's very rare for young people to be in government because they always see government as a place of, you know, hobbies. It's not the first choice. So it was quite odd for some people. Well, not for me. I always had not the dream, but always saw myself and considered the possibility of working in government. Because why not? Because you know, most of the fresh grads during my time, I don't know now, but a few years ago, walang may gusto. Nobody wanted to work for government, and I was one of the very few that, at least, would consider working in government. So it's been 9 years since.
So pero nakakagulat even here in Manila, because it's all the way in Lubon, we find that there are younger people joining. You know, they're very determined to be able to help. And I see that's what Xavier, kasi talagang he's into tourism. That's how you were trained in college, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And speaking of tourism, I think we're ready to show the video of the different destinations in Ilocos, and I'm sure yan din ang nilibot ni Xavier when he was when he was a freelance tourist guide. Can we show the video of how beautiful Ilocos is?
Ano, pag sabi ng Ilocano, kuripot daw.
It's like a different country.
Yes.
We have a very, very rich culture, born out from the way we were able to adapt to the land and to the seas. And that defines you as a people. From that hardship, it shaped the character of the Ilocano. Loyalty, industry, for them to be able to eke out a living and be able to survive the harsh conditions. This infertile land needs people to be very, very industrious. They know the value of labor. Naturally, magiging kuripot ka, kasi you will have to be very watchful about spending too much dahil sa hirap na hirap ka eh. The kuripotness of Ilocanos, it's rightly placed. They save their money for education, for upward mobility. Ilocano is slow food movement, which antedated anything that happened in Europe. Bagnet is bagnot. It must be the right flank that needs to be used for that particular purpose. Sa kawa, at umaamoy na ng konti yung pork. They take it out from the boiling kawa. They cool it for maybe an hour or 2 hours. Ipapasok ulit doon sa boiling lard. Matagal na slow boil yan. And then that's what makes the beautiful texture of bagnet and the color. They were so very careful about making the right consistency and the right smell for that particular bagnet. You cannot have Ilocano without bagnet. Our meals are very, very simple but nutritious. Yung empanada, munggo nung araw yan and papaya. Later on, dinagdag na lang yung itlog at yung langgonisa. But now, a lot of people use that as a full meal. Magpapabili ka ng empanada, that's lunch, dinner. Sa Batak, where the best empanada is. Andun lahat ng mga tao, pamilya-pamilya going there. The Malacanang of the North, siyempre, is grand, overlooking the lake just like any of the palaces in Europe. It was made of materials coming from the north. The bricks were made from San Nicolas. The wide planks of Nara, they were sourced out from part of the Cordilleras. And the quintessential tropical palace with wide windows and ventanillas. It's a showcase of the grandness of Ilocano vision. Paway Church. It's earthquake baroque. Kita mo, cathedral na cathedral, ang ganda, European na sana. Pero if you go to the sides, it comes like Borobudur. Distinctive yung Ilocano yan. Majestic, di ba? You see Paway Church in all its glory at night. And at dusk, when the corals turn pink. No other site in the Philippines can match that. It's about going back to where you come from. I wanted to recreate that in situ, to showcase what the Ilocano culture is all about. What Ilocos Norte culture was all about. And preserving that is a very important thing that we should be doing. I have a passion for that. I want every Ilocano to be proud of what they came from. They must come back to the roots because it is the one which nurtured their being. I am an Ilocano. I'm proud to be one.
Really divine and beautiful.
Great
And
video.
we'd like to say thanks to those people because we encountered intermittent connection a while ago, but they still stayed on. Like Marnie de la Cruz from Northern Christian College, Pacoy Aniag, who was the one who alerted you lost the feed,
Oh,
and
okay.
Bismarck, my co-host.
Yes, my friend.
Thank you for staying. Oh, your friend! Wow, look at that! You have a follower. So, and of course, Xavier, kanina meron ng mga nagsabi they're watching from Nelson Lacadin is also from Northern Christian College. So, hindi ko alam na kaya pala ganun kasarap yung bagnet. Kasi pinapakulo pala siya sa oil, slow cooking. Kaya pala ang sarap, ang taba, di ba? It really bursts in your mouth and the empanada. So, looking at those beautiful places, what is the most visited part of?
Before I answer that, a big shout out to Dr. Kwanang, the narrator. He's actually a good friend of ours. We work together for tourism and culture. And he's head neurologist, one of the leading neurologists in the Philippines, who's from here. He's from here. I'm not sure if he's still with St. Luke's, but he used to be with St. Luke's as a neurologist. Yeah. So he put up Feature Remedios, like mentioned, video, which is a recreation of a typical Ilocano townscape. So when we can travel again, I hope you can visit that place. So he has houses from different towns of the province, and he rebuilt it to set up with a chapel in the middle to represent the church. So it's all set that way. And he's a patron of the arts. He's been very helpful with us. And that video is actually produced by our office, but he was kind enough together with the producers. And I'm not sure if I'm allowed to mention the bus line, but they were very generous enough to lend us and let us use it for our promotions. So having said that, based on dami kong nasabi, sorry.
No, that's good. You'll just listen to him. I love it.
Yeah, and Dr. Kwadang said everything. I can't, he explained how we are as a people, how the landscape honed us as who we are as Ilocanos, all the hardships. It's all there. It's a reflection of how we were able to make good use of infertile land and how to make the most out of what we have. Ilocos is not blessed with water, fertile. We have fertile lands. We have sand dunes, desert. They share to dito. And that's why our food became like bagnet and all of these salty foods because it was.
But Ilocos empanada, oh my God!
Wonderful to find out.
All of our food is a result of trying to just practically survive. During the olden times, there's no refrigerator. We had to make our food all with salt, dry them. That's why there's longanisa, deep fry them several times like bagnet, and have easy to eat meals like empanada. So these are all part of our coping mech for survival mode.
Ang sarap ng mga nagawa nyo, ha?
Yeah.
That's all. All of our food is a reflection of our culture. That's why you never see any sweet food here. That doesn't mean that we're not sweet. I think we're very sweet. Yeah. The Rachel's question was, what are the most visited sites? So
Yes.
Yeah.
based on historical data, these are arrivals. I think you would guess what they are. It's the windmills, the beaches of Pagudpud, the
All
wide
right.
rock formations of Purpura One that's like out of this world.
I haven't been there.
Poway Church, of course, and the
Uh,
sand dunes. Those are the top
yeah.
five most visited areas. You already know that. Everybody knows that.
Pero
But
I haven't been to Sand Dunes yet. Magkano bang mag-ganon? Yung
the
mag-drive
ride.
doon? Yeah.
Mm.
Okay, it's 2,500 only. Used to be for 4 to 5 persons, but now with the new normal, we're reducing it to the standard two per row, so maybe just three now. They're not yet
Right.
officially open in Hawaii, although yesterday we had an event in the Lawag Sand Dunes. There are two prominent sand dunes areas for those activities. And yesterday we were able to open Lawag, at least for residents, with a pop-up event. These are all parts of our efforts to encourage people to travel again and to go outdoors.
Nice.
Prior to me entering, you were mentioning about COVID and spreading indoors. So now we're
Yeah.
encouraging our residents to actually go outside,
How
breathe fresh
wise.
air, go
A
to the
lot
Yeah.
beach,
safer. Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
Wise. Wise.
take off your mask. Nobody's beside you. Just take it off. You're in the middle of nowhere anyway. So ayun, we're pushing for that now, and we've been open for our residents for about 3 weeks now. So we opened our sites, our museums, all of our parks, free for the first 2 weeks, and we only charge them about 10 pesos now if you're an Ilocos Norte resident. So we really encourage everyone to go out. Don't get stuck in the mall, although the malls are open now.
Right.
And don't stay
Oo,
at
pag
home.
indoors
Breathe
saka air
fresh air.
conditioned, yan, don't
Yeah.
first, no? But how
Yeah.
many cases are there now in in Lawag? I sorry, in Ilocos.
What do you mean? Sorry, places?
Sorry, COVID cases. Like, do you
COVID
have
cases.
Oh.
I think we
three
only
now?
have three active now. A
Grabe, no?
total of seven. Thankfully, no one died because of COVID, and there haven't
Galing.
been any local transmissions. Knock on wood, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
these have all been cases from OFWs and returning residents, and so far
Pero
we've been
very
lucky.
minimal.
Yes, we've been very lucky, and we've been able to contain the virus somehow. Although our governor keeps on saying that we should always act like COVID is already with us, and that's our mindset now. We're not
Yeah,
Yeah.
kampante with anything. Uh,
that's good. That's good.
um, and the people here are not really matigas ang ulo, for lack of a better term. Just make
Very
sure
good.
you communicate what's needed to be done and why. And I think
But
the entire Philippines is like that naman. Ganun naman. It's just a matter of
but
communication.
you have so many tourists, di ba? Because that is tourism a
Historically,
big part of the revenue of the province?
yes, very much. We had in 2018 for the provincial government alone, we had an income of about 33.8 million pesos. Let me
Oh,
explain
ang
Oh,
this.
wow.
laki.
Um, this is just for the provincial government. What's unique with our setup here in Ilocos Norte is that most, if not all of our major attractions where we collect fees and lease for stalls and stores are owned by the
Mhm.
provincial government. So this
Ah.
amount,
Okay.
yeah, this amount is goes directly to the coffers of government and is spent also on tourism projects. And if there are other
Mm.
So,
projects that need to be
nire-reinvest
funded
lang nila.
also,
That's
we
nice.
reinvest it. So I think we're unique in the country in
In
this
that
sense
way.
because we're not just spending because government is not supposed to be a money making entity, right? But
Right.
we have several assets and we've been able to use it to fund our tourism program. So we're not lugi actually. We've been doing very well. But this is also on top of tourism receipts that we've been having. In 2019, we had about 14.8 billion pesos. This is the money that goes to the
Oh,
private
wow.
sector, hotels, tour operators,
Right.
restaurants, souvenir shops, everything. This is the estimate. So it's really a big part of our industry of the economy of the province. Although we're largely agriculture still, maybe we're second, very close second to agriculture. And unlike other destinations that are too dependent on tourism, that when tourism is gone, their economy dies. We're luckily not like
Yes.
that. We're very diverse. I'm sure you've
Right.
heard that maraming balikbayan in sa Ilocos, and they have
Yes.
the highest remittances in the country. So that's one income stream also that's very strong. Another is we've been very active with our BPO industry. We're now one of
Okay.
the new wave cities for BPOs. We have several big BPOs already here. So we're transitioning to an agricultural laid back province into a more commercial service oriented economy
Yeah,
now.
it's sounding
So
like that. That's right.
so now at least and everybody's online selling. So that's true throughout the
Oh, isa
country,
pa
even
yun.
here. So
Yeah.
we're lucky and we're thankful that somehow even when tourism is at pause now, I won't say it's dead because I'm very optimistic. But now that it's at pause, we are still able to survive, especially those in the industry.
Right. And what
Yeah,
about
that's
what
amazing.
about you, Xavier, as
Mhm.
tourism officer? What is your like main role or your main focus?
Okay. Since it's a government office,
Mm,
and tourism is highly private in nature. Most
right.
of our players are all private, and the role of government usually is very limited to just promotion and things like that. But
That's right.
during this pandemic, in particular, this COVID, we were aware, and we were aware, and we were in the right mindset that tourism is not a priority now. Of course, health is the priority and safety, but it
Yes,
boiled
yes.
down to a challenge of well, for us in our case in our office, if should we take the back seat and just not do anything because
Right.
it happens in government when you're not
Let this thing
relevant now.
pass us by, and
Yes.
then eventually na lang let's do something about it. But for now, let's
Yeah.
see how this all will pan out, no?
Yeah, but we try to be as active as possible, especially now, and to stay relevant. And
Right.
I think that's what all of us should do, regardless if we work in government or the private sector, is to try to be relevant. Unless you lose
Yeah.
your job
Be
if you don't do
proactive.
it,
Yeah,
you will
that's
lose
right.
your job eventually.
Yeah.
We're not essential now. Tourism is definitely not essential. We were the last sector to be allowed to operate, and we're just at 50% now, not even 100%. So we try to remain
Yeah.
relevant, and we went beyond what's expected. At least that's what I feel of what's expected of local tourism offices or tourism departments in general. So we try to create programs even in lockdown. Try to uh, be a ray of positivity in all of this negativity that surrounds us. Somehow, people still
Right.
need entertainment. People still need
Yeah,
inspiration.
of
And
course.
initially, during the pandemic, we did photo essay contests. Eventually, we did a podcast, an online podcast in our Facebook
Oh,
page. We
wow.
had a full with a full blown studio in our
Yeah,
office.
I
Very
saw
We
dynamic,
do
that.
ah.
events.
Yes.
Yeah, it's called What's In. So it's a kumustahan lang. It's catch up with our industry partners. Somehow it's also training, and somehow it's also entertainment. So COVID really erased a major part of our tourism calendar. The provincial fiesta is May. We didn't do anything in May. Entirely scrapped everything. We were supposed to have a desert party that we normally do, the
Was
usual
was
beauty
there like
pageants.
a way to do that online that you explored, or
Yes, somehow yes, but we were also very careful, Ral.
right?
We didn't want to, be insensitive somehow.
Of course.
We tried to test the waters first, do activities slowly, and now that we're in a better place, and I hope the entire country will be in the future, we're being asked already to revitalize the economy, to have more recreation for our locals already. And we're actually already planning to open our borders for regional tourists at the very least. Those with
Oh,
the same level of quarantine as us. It's not easy, definitely not easy. And
yun nga eh.
our neighboring
Interesting.
provinces are also very careful. We're talking very closely how to do it because the trend is really local now, and it's nothing new to us because 90% of our tourists are actually local Filipino. 10% are
I
just foreign.
see.
Yes, it's
So
Mm,
from
mostly
that,
Filipino.
that's a good
so from
percentage,
that
right?
33 million, did you say? Or 33 million, not billion, no? 33
Million,
million
million
revenue
Million,
income.
million, yeah.
million in
Yeah,
2018, 90% of that, so mga 30 million was actually Pinoys going
Yeah,
yes.
there and still discovering the
Honestly,
North.
yeah.
what's
Yeah, fantastic.
yeah, what's interesting with the north is you can drive, especially with all the expressways. Now it's getting shorter and shorter. It's more of
Yeah.
drive tourism. Those who have the luxury of time can drive up to Ilocos, to Cagayan, to the Cordilleras, back to Manila or southern Luzon after. So that's our market really. So somehow again we're lucky in that sense because some of our destinations, our friends also in the tourism industry, are the bulk of their tourists are actually foreign, and that's I'm sure they're hit pretty hard. But for us, like I said, it's not entirely new. Although it's definitely a shift in what we wanted for this year. We wanted to focus on international marketing supposedly this year, and
Yeah, you're so good
medyo
at that.
medyo let go muna of local kasi I think everybody knows where Ilocos is already. But COVID happened, so we had to
Yeah.
scrap it
So
again and we
Right. Pivot.
do our programs again. And the difficult part is nobody actually knows what to do.
Of course,
The
there's no
World Tourism
manual.
yeah, the WTO isn't quite sure, although they have the standards. Even the DOT at some point is also relying and working closely with us. So we try to give feedback with each other to come up with policies that actually work. Well, I'm sure it doesn't happen only in tourism. Everybody,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
really
yeah,
yeah.
hard.
yeah, it's hard because we've been featuring a lot during the COVID ECQ. It's a lot on the rise of the cases here in
Mhm.
Manila,
Mhm.
and of course we know how badly affected. Like I can feel it. How because the malls, there are a lot of businesses there, small businesses that are affected. But the first thing that was affected even before there was ECQ, when it was just GCQ in February, what was the tourism
Mhm.
sector, like the
Oh yeah,
tour agencies, the
Yes,
travel
travel
agencies
agencies.
are
Yeah.
badly affected. Do you have a lot of those in your area? Because you have this continuity program. What is that? What is that all about when you were
yeah. Maybe
helping
can you
those
share with
sectors?
everyone for all the viewers and listeners?
Yeah. So yun, it was the worst time for tourism to stop in, not just in Ilocos Norte, but in the entire country. It was Philippine summer season from March to May. So
Yeah,
Yep.
zero
yeah.
business, all cancel bookings. And we have to understand that this time frame is where most of our tourism workers get their working money. They usually get money from here to fund
Yes,
low season. And we're
Mhm.
at
yes.
low season now. And this is the only time uh, with projections of data and we can slowly open now. And we don't expect people to travel now because obviously because of COVID
Yeah.
and the season it's raining. So we're not sure if our businesses can actually earn money now. So what we did, I mentioned earlier. But before that, just to note, there are no big business players in the province. Most are MSMEs, even with the hotels. We don't have any big chains of hotels.
Right.
Maybe we have one or two big hotels with over 100 rooms, but
Mhm.
majority, like 95%, are actually all
Like
local
boutique
businesses.
hotels.
They're
Oh,
all
mom
they're
and
all
pop.
from here. They're all from here. They don't pay rent. It's their building, for example. They built it.
Oh,
So there's no closure of businesses. We're very happy to say that are
galing.
tourism related, and they've been very active in trying to innovate and diversify their income stream. So even without us telling them.
Yeah.
So
Puro
they're
online.
yes, more online, and that's
Baking, cooking,
uh,
delivery.
yeah, and halaman, like mga halaman ko sa likod.
Oh,
And
right,
that's
right.
that's very that's very typical Ilocano resiliency and being nimble and adaptability. But with our program, so what we did was I mentioned earlier that our provincial fiesta was May, so we had budget for events for fiestas during the summer
Mm.
season. And what we did was we realigned the budget, all of our budget, not the entire year, but almost half of the year, and channeled it to uh, a pay now, work later scheme. So it's not a dole out.
Oh,
We typically don't want that. So what we did was we uh, gave qualified applicants their sueldo or their salaries in advance. And now that restrictions are easier and we're more open, they're slowly returning the service to us. So,
galing.
say for example, if they're events workers, which is the most hit, because
Right.
they're not regular workers, they're not regularly employed.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
we also had performers with our pop-up events that we're doing now. They're returning the service already. So whatever they've been
Mm.
doing normally on their normal work life is what we ask of them now.
Okay.
So just to let them get by a few months, that's what we did. And I think we're the first and only province in the Philippines who have thought of that. It's not rocket science,
Oh,
actually.
yeah,
It's not
it's the
rocket
first time I heard
science.
it, eh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
but it's not. It's we've been getting inquiries from other government offices, from other LGs, other tourism offices, our friends. I think some have been trying to do it, some already did, and
Right.
they've been asking how we did it. But like I said, it's not rocket science. It's just trying to appropriate the funds that you have and make a priority of what you want to use the money
Right.
for.
Basta
And
timingin lang, eh, 'di ba?
yes, it's not really rocket science. And ayun, so far, uh, it's been doing well. Well, we did it very early also, around the first week of April or second week of April. We did it very early, as fast as we can. And we're supposed to do a batch two already. So the first batch was about 1,200 recipients, and not businesses. These are individual workers,
Right.
and it's a way of helping the business owners. So at least they don't lay them off. It helps them with their salaries
Yeah.
somehow.
Wait, so
And
meaning,
for the
let's say for example, like I already got the money in advance, so it's sort of like a dole out for now, temporarily, and then
yeah,
eventually I'm gonna return the service. I'm gonna start working, right?
yes,
But when I
yes.
Yeah.
start working, I also get paid for the, or is it
Na
I work
advance na.
pro bono, para in advance na ba yung sweldo ko
Advanced
for the
na,
work that I'm gonna
yes,
do?
Advance
yes, it's
na.
advanced.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And we're not asking for anything very difficult. And we actually say, for example, if you're being paid at an hourly basis or a daily basis, we did half of
Mhm.
that. So
Ayun,
we
okay.
didn't equate the amount with the usual
All
days of
right.
work.
That's a lot
We
clearer.
don't want to be a burden to them. We
Of
know what's
course.
happening, but at the same time,
Yeah.
of course, we don't want dole outs. You know what happens with dole outs usually.
Yeah,
In
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
it doesn't work. It
Inaabuso.
doesn't work. Yeah, and
Yeah.
they know the value of
Nice.
money if you work for
And
it somehow.
hard work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very easy work, um like the performers, they perform, so they're happy to do it and they miss it. That's what they said.
Yeah, 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 I'm
For
sure.
those, di ba, yung mga singers and
So now, how will
travel
you
agents,
market it? Because
we
the
will be
whole,
asking them by next week to.
yeah, the whole country is focusing on go local, buy local, kasi nga
Mhm.
we have to
Mhm.
circulate the money. So how will you be able to market it to other regions? How are you planning that? Now, right now, you have the pop-up events within the province, but
Mhm.
later on, are there plans to go out to say region 2, 3, 4?
Yeah, definitely. I think I
Mhm.
mentioned that earlier. We have two phases of our
Ah,
COVID marketing. The first one is Intayon, it's Ilocano, which means let's go. So that's or let's go together. That's for
Nice.
our residents. So you go out, you eat in a restaurant, have a staycation in a resort.
mm,
Buy in is buy Ilocos Norte, buy products from local sellers. That's part one of our marketing scheme. Second phase is in together. This is already for regional and hopefully national in scale. So it's opening up and having travel bubbles with our neighbors initially,
Oh,
within
yeah.
Ilocos
I've been
region,
reading about that.
Cordillera, and
creative.
Cagayan.
Mm.
Yeah. Kasi
Yeah.
although majority of our visitors are from Metro Manila or Southern Tagalog, but we've so far with test while we try to test the markets, we've been getting inquiries from say for example Baguio or from Cagayan who want to come here, and also from
Oh,
people from here who also want to go there.
go
So
there, right?
Oh,
actually,
okay.
we're gonna do that. I hope sooner than later.
Right.
So
But
even if
Baguio is a
Lawag
little
is,
stricter pa, no? Ay, sorry.
yeah,
Sorry.
farther, farther
Go ahead,
down.
Rachel.
I
Go
mean,
ahead,
farther
Rachel.
down. Parang
Um,
marami pang oras to drive from Baguio, di ba? Mga 4 hours from
from Baguio
2014
to
to
Lawag.
Ilocos. Oh yeah, to Luwag.
Yeah, depends how fast you drive, but 4 hours kaya. 4 to 5 hours
Hindi.
maybe.
Mabilis
Mga
na
4
yung
to
4
5.
hours na yun. Ilang,
Yes. Cause Lawag to La Union is you can drive it probably for 3 hours. Then La Union to Baguio is another hour. So 4 hours. Kaya.
Mm.
yeah, yeah. So kahit na naging international airport na ang Lawag, you didn't, bulk of your tourism is still local rather than, because you have direct flights, say from Taiwan, China, thankfully, kung hindi, parang
Um
hindi naman kayo pinagsanay.
historically nako, historically we had flights directly from Hong Kong, Taiwan, mainland China at the time. But I cannot answer it properly because it's a national policy. The
That's
airports
right.
are not under our control, although we work with for
Ah,
Mm.
example. But we've been very pushy before COVID to open flights, to return these international flights. The only international flight we have is a connecting flight from Honolulu via Manila. So that's the only
Mm.
international flight we have because Honolulu kasi maraming Ilocano sa Hawaii. So we have that on a daily basis. But historically, we've had the last chartered flight that we've had from mainland China was about 2 years ago. Um, and again, this story is somehow similar to what we're experiencing now as a destination. Because before there was a time when Ilocos Norte was very dependent on the Chinese market, and then in
Okay.
2010, you know what happened when they were asked to stop coming here. In
Mm.
yeah.
2010, Ilocos tourism was practically dead. Dati
Ah,
ganyan, walang pumapansin sa local tourists. And that was the time when we started. So when we started, we
And then
shifted this.
resilient nga kayo eh, 'di ba? You'll find
Yes,
ways
ang
eh.
galing, no?
we'll find a way. So during that time, we focused immediately on to go divert, but not entirely forget the Chinese market, junket markets, because they came here for as incentive travels, for casino, for golf. So we put them aside for a while. Okay, let's since you're not coming anyway, dyan muna kayo
Mm.
sa gilid. Let's focus on domestic or Filipino tourism, more family oriented, more millennial, sports oriented tourism, and that's where
Yeah.
we were. That's where we
That's what
were
drove
after a
everything.
decade until now. So now it's a new chapter again. So we have to think again.
Hanep.
But our plan for the next decade supposedly was really focus on international na sana.
Pero believe ako, the way you have turned it around because you lost the Chinese market back then in
Oo
2010,
nga
I
eh.
remember that. I think that was the
Madiskarte eh.
time nagkaroon ng tourist, the massacre there in Luneta. But anyway,
In Luneta.
yeah, yung, di ba, nasa isang bus sila, and then they
Yes,
stopped
yes,
coming here.
yes,
Yep, yep.
So, and then you turned it around and it worked so well. And dahil
yes.
kuripot nga daw, I think the government, those savings you got from 2018 is what, tied you over now to even give in advance salaries and just get to work later, which is wonderful. And then now you're having pockets. So last question, because, di ba sabi ko sa'yo, Ral, ay sarap-sarap makinig sa kanya. I just
Totoo
gave
eh.
him like the guide questions.
Yeah.
Tuloy-tuloy na. It just shows
Yeah.
how knowledgeable
Now I
he
see what you
is
mean.
of, yeah,
Nako,
of the
maybe I'm
whole
just bored.
industry. No, I mean, you know it even way back from 2010. So tourism, part of that is preserving the heritage, and that's a big part of Ilocos. When you go there, culturally, you can still feel it. And then you see the churches, wonderful. There's even a museum, which is
Right.
well visited because it's not so in other provinces.
That's true.
So, is that a big chunk of tourism's budget to preserve the heritage sites?
Hmm. Yeah.
I don't know how it
You.
works. Eh.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's true. We have more museums than malls. Oh, there's a thunder. I don't know if you heard the thunder. Medyo
Yes.
localized thunder. when we
No, no,
when
I
we
heard it. I heard.
natawa ako. When we did the testing a while ago, it was sunny. Then before one, oh my God, it's gonna rain. Because
But I heard
we get
it.
yeah, it was pretty strong. Anyway, back to culture. Now it's gone. We actually have more museums than malls and department stores in the province. Almost every town has a small museum or a small exhibit, and that shows how we value our culture very much. And aside from that, our events are very culture heavy. Actually, everything that we try to do is very culture heavy. You would see products made from Inabel, which is the
Yeah.
heritage fabric like this. Now it's
Right.
becoming face.
Yeah.
Now it's becoming face mask. My shirt.
Fashionable.
Yeah, it's
You
well,
know
it's
Oh
fashionable.
what?
yeah. Oh, even your
It's
shirt.
fashionable. Like there are
Even my
even
shirt, my uniform.
dresses. Oh, there are dresses made in Minabel.
Represent.
Yeah, even dresses. So everything is very even with our choices of design elements. It's based on our heritage, our man-made and natural heritage. So that includes our landscape as well. So we're very cultural heavy. And when it comes to government policies for culture, it's also the same. We've been having
Mm.
repairs of our heritage churches, like Poway Church, for example, for the past 3 years now. We've been working with the National Museum and all of our national cultural agencies like NCCA. Poway Church now is undergoing renovation. So, si Miss Rachel, when she
Ah.
comes back, it will look entirely different. Well, it actually already is on the exterior. And we've been doing repairs with the national government. The lighthouse has been refurbished in the past 3 years, and some of our churches. Aside from that, we have local policies for culture. We have a cultural policy ordinance, a policy for incentivizing those who are in the arts, those who would like to
Wow.
preserve their ancestral homes, for example, or their buildings. So it's really part of what we do. And now, even to the point that even other government offices, their projects seems like it's already culture or tourism already. There's that crossover already. Eh.
Yeah,
So
that's good.
yeah,
So
everybody's
it means
being very
you've been a
creative.
good vibe. You've been a good vibe. You've been
Yun nga
roughing
eh.
it off to
I
our
hope, I
industries.
hope, I hope
Yeah.
so, I
So
hope so.
yeah. So paano ba yan? Like you're given budget based on the tourism revenue. Is that how it's allocated for you?
Well, not really. In government, well, it depends on the direction of the local chief executive, for example, in our case. So it's not the same in every government, but it's a bit easier for us to propose funding or to ask for funding for certain projects because tourism is obviously a major economic driver for the province.
Yeah.
So I think it justifies itself and yun, hindi pahirapan sa paghingi ng budget.
I
Mm.
see. But you said the number one, the close number one, you're close number two to agriculture.
Yes.
So, what is rice your product? Because on the other hand, you said that you're not geographically blessed there because it's very arid. It's like very dry, di ba?
Eh, pero
It is.
nagawa na naman
And
ng
yet,
paraan eh. Resilient
Yeah.
na.
yeah, anong paraan nagawa niyo doon?
Yeah. The Americans used to say that we're the best farmers in the Philippines. That's why yung mga Ilocano ang kinuha sa Hawaii and California for the pineapple plantations for the sugarcane plantations, and this is called the sacadas. They were called the sacadas. So that's why there's so many Ilocanos and Filipinos in Hawaii and the West Coast. It's because of
Mhm.
that.
Okay,
We
yes.
Ilocanos were asked to farm there kasi magaling daw mga Ilocano mag-farm because we were able
Yeah.
to transform our arid land into something productive. And well, lucky. I always say that we're lucky. Luckily enough, we're rice sufficient. We even
Oh,
export
okay.
rice. It reaches Manila and other parts of the Philippines. Garlic is also a big produce. Mangoes is not known to be a produce of Ilocos Norte. We always think
Yeah,
it's
no.
Cebu, but we're one of the
Right.
top
And so
producers alongside Cebu and Guimaras. We also export mangoes.
Okay.
We export to other provinces, to Manila, and even abroad. And the
Yeah.
newest now is dragon fruit. Even the
ah,
largest dragon
really?
Oh,
fruit
sarap.
plantation was here. Yeah, was once here. So in Manila, you buy dragon fruit. It's so expensive. Dito, you just go to the side of the street to get it for 50, 100 pesos. You're good.
Seryoso?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another reason to
Nice.
go there.
So
Yeah.
it's that, and agriculture is also tying up with tourism somehow. Like dragon fruit is, well, the most obvious reason is because tourists buy the local produce and the food.
Mm.
Agriculture becomes food eventually, and a big selling point of our province is food. So somehow agriculture and tourism, they tie up together. And what's good with tourism is it creates a domino effect. It touches virtually every industry. So
Oh,
somehow
nag-ripple effect ka, no?
it's a ripple effect. So everything, it's all tourism. Traffic, transportation is also tourism related.
Yeah,
Food is
it
also
is.
tourism related. Agriculture is also
Uh,
tourism related. So lahat na
yeah.
lang
So,
the business of
is
tourism.
yeah. So last question na talaga because there's another exciting Northern Christian
Yes.
College,
Oo
the
nga, baka meron pa akong
president-elect
gustong
is
tanungin
coming.
after Pero sige.
But last question because the last thing I read, you were
Sorry.
going towards ecotourism. The eco. So what exactly is ecotourism for Ilocos?
Okay.
Is it
So
because of the agri?
um uh yes and no. Ecotourism. So we're, that we're a cultural destination, but
Right.
because of COVID, we're also pushing now for our outdoors. So it's mostly our beaches and our mountains. Not a lot of people know, but Ilocos Norte is actually half lowland, which is the beaches, the sand dunes, the windmills, the rock formations. Everything that you know about Ilocos Norte is lowland, coastal. But we're also Cordillera at the same time. It's
Mm.
Ilocos Norte is a
You get the
very,
best of both
very,
worlds.
yeah, we're a very thin province. You can stretch your left hand and you touch the beach. You
Yeah, the
stretch your right
boundaries.
hand, you touch the mountains. We're neighbors with Apayao and Abra, and we're
Yeah.
pushing for all of these outdoorsy activities, not just the beaches, but also spread tourism to areas that historically had none, like our mountainside, our indigenous communities to the east, to our Cordillera side. So it's more of that, and I think that will be our selling point with the new normal. A lot of
Mm.
people wouldn't want to be inside closed spaces. Well, they can still go to the churches because they have open windows, but more people would like to be outdoors. So that's what we're
That's
teaching
right.
now.
All right, so you're right on track, and thank you very much for this wonderful discussion. So much more, and as
Oo nga eh.
we heal and we go travel to Ilocos, we'll have you again, please. It was
Thank you so much
such a
for having me.
wonderful
It was fun,
conversation.
and
Thank
I'm
you
Yeah,
sorry
so
it was
much,
so
for
much
keeping
Xavier.
all of you.
fun. No, it was so much fun. It's like encyclopedic fun. Kasi ang dami natin natutunan eh.
Nako, I could go on
Hindi,
and
pero usually talaga pagka,
on.
especially if your exposure talaga is experiences in tour guiding, talagang very engaging magkwento mga di ba?
Yeah,
You were
because of all the history, the
That's
background,
true.
stories.
That's true.
Yeah. All right.
And I forgot to mention,
Yes.
last na lang,
Yes.
promise. I forgot to
Go,
mention about
go
tour
ahead.
sige
guiding.
lang go.
For it's part of our program to have job crossovers for those who don't have jobs now in tourism, like tour guides. We're actually helping them now to go to transition to the BPO industry while wala pang tourism. Kasi pare-parehas kaming madaldal. And maybe I
Oo,
just had
Ah,
to mention that.
okay.
Yeah.
oo.
So we're
Actually,
trying to do
since
that
you
now.
mentioned that naman, I just have one last question.
Okay, okay. Last na.
No,
Promise,
no,
last na.
because earlier you were saying, diba, you were talking about that assistance that you gave to like tourism workers, like
People.
yun nga yung advance niyo muna yung pay and then they work later. Did you have something like that for businesses, or did you even need to do that
Um,
for tourism businesses? I mean,
okay, just to have context, the our tourism livelihood continuity program, which is that program to help the
mhm.
tourism employees, uh, was preceded by another program. We before
Okay.
COVID, we had a program where we hired students, tourism students, out of school youth, senior citizens, PWDs, to have a little bit of income during tourism peak season. That's how it started. That was our program first.
Wonderful.
We transformed it and we COVIDified it and made it what it is now. I explained earlier.
COVID,
Yeah, COVIDified. And phase 3, actually, we hope to do this by end of the year, if not early next year, is to have a scheme now to help the entrepreneurs, the business owners.
For tourism.
To make
What tourism
for
business
tourism,
owners?
yes,
Yes,
to make
nice.
to make sure that they don't close. So we already help their
Oo nga.
employees. Yeah, and next is to make sure that they don't close. So we're still in the drawing board and planning stage with our local investment and MSME office, and trying to come up with a maybe loans program for our businesses, or maybe emulate existing programs overseas where the government pays maybe 50 to 80% of the salaries of their employees for maybe 3 months
that'd
or
be a
so.
big help. Yeah.
That's what
Pero
we're
yung
looking at now.
So for those MSMEs that are watching and listening, ayan, that's something to look forward to.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed. That's right.
Fingers crossed. Tsaka kahit may gusto pa akong itanong, sige, we have to go on a break. We really have to let you go. But I really have one more
Always
question.
waiting.
Yeah.
Okay, yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Xavier. It was really fun.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
Hope to see you soon.
Thank you.
Okay, bye. Yeah, see you soon there. Bye. All right, so we'll get first to a break, and then
Really
we'll
quick
have
break, yeah.
Doctora Agnir Paraan already. Such an interesting story. It's the Northern Christian College. It's the president-elect. And it's a legacy that she will continue. Great. So,
when we come back, more of the show.
Yes. Stay tuned. Very
Babalik ang
interesting.
KPI, Kaunlaran at Pagbabago para sa inyo sa V81 Radio Worldwide. Para enjoy ang pakikinig sa V81 Radio kahit saan, we are now on your Amazon Echo devices. Just say, Alexa, play V81 Radio at i-enjoy ang inyong mga paboritong Pinoy music 24/7. Sabihin lang, Alexa, play V81 Radio. Naghahatid saya sa mga Pinoy, mga kantang tatak Pinoy. Kahit nasan ka man, kami ay mapapakinggan. Streaming worldwide, the future of radio in Manila, California, and Hong Kong. This is V81 Radio.
Malayo ka man sa iyong pamilya, dito ay hindi ka nag-iisa. Tiyak ito'y iyong hahanap-hanapin, dahil ito ang nagpapasaya sa atin. Ito ang radio mo, ito ang radio ko. V81 Radio, V81 Radio. Dahil mahal namin kayo. V81 Radio, V81 Radio. Para sa inyo ito, V81 Radio. Ang paborito ng bawat Pilipino, basta all hits, all Pinoy, panalo. Merong kwentong iyakan at tawanan, kahit nasaan ka man ito'y mapapakinggan. Oh, V81 Radio, V81 Radio. Mo, ito ang radio ko. V81 Radio, V81 Radio. Dahil mahal namin kayo. Para sa inyo ito, V81 Radio. Ito ang radio mo, ito ang radio ko. Dahil mahal namin kayo. Para sa inyo ito, V81 Radio.
Balikan na natin ang KPI, Kaunlaran at Pagbabago para sa inyo sa V81 Radio Worldwide.
Okay.
Hello, we're back. And
Yes,
for those people
welcome
who
back,
just
everybody.
missed the very brilliant, Xavier Ruiz, who's a great ambassador for Ilocos Norte, you can head on later on to Facebook page of V81 or the KPI page
Or
on Facebook
KPI. Yep.
or the YouTube channel of V81. So please subscribe. So from one brilliant person, ang daming brilliant people sa Ilocos. I just found out while I was doing research for this that Diego Silang is Ilocano. Was Ilocano.
Oh, really?
And Gabriela Silang, of course, who followed suit in with her bravery. And also, best of all, my most admired artist of that time, Juan Luna, was
right. He was also in
so, yeah, Ilocos is largely steeped in the Spanish culture because after Manila, and Cebu, they were the next province that was inhabited by the Spaniards.
Right.
And I found that out from the president-elect of Northern Christian College, and we will be calling her already. It's Dr.
Alright.
Lucris Carina Agnir Paraan, but I call her Tilo because she's a good.
There she is.
Hi there.
Hi, good afternoon, Louie.
Yeah, we're so happy to have you. Yes. Because the reason why we're featuring Northern Christian College is because, as mentioned at the start of the show, they were able to return unused portion of the tuition fee during the last quarters. That was in January, I think, or March up until May, because they started also in August. So we'll ask them how they're able to do that. But first, let's ask first, just to put it into context, she's president-elect because pero nagtataka ako when I read the history, she was elected back in 2016. So maganda talaga yung succession planning ng school. Kasi they planned like 4 years ahead on who is the best person to run the school that will maintain the integrity. And the school is so interesting because their vision is to mold professionals in good moral and spiritual values. So let's ask the president-elect.
Yeah, so Louie, tell us your story.
So wait. Tilo, I have to say pala first before I forget. Si Terry Fabian, who is watching from Brisbane, Queensland, is saying what an amazing professor you were to Pearl. She was my amazing English professor. Manila's lost and Ilocos gain. More power to your radio show. Thank you.
Yan ang reward.
Okay.
That's a
And hi to Soya Bueno. She's the BFF of Xavier. Yolanda Flor from all the way from Tacloban. And Esther Aurora, who is her friend. And Ria saying hello, Tilo. Hi, Tilo.
That's your barkada.
Ronnie Pagaspas, hello. So please tell us about what is that good moral and spiritual value. Mine for others din ba yan?
or also later, like what happened, what caused you to return the tuition, like that whole story. I'm sure all of the viewers,
Yes.
all of the listeners would really like to learn more about that also.
Okay. So
Yes.
first of all, thank you for having me. And it's amazing that one little Facebook post led to this invitation.
Yep.
Um, there was a student, professional education student, no, who came, and then she was so happy that she got back the miscellaneous fees. It's not the tuition that we refunded because we continued
All
to
right,
deliver,
there you go.
diba? We continued to
Yeah.
deliver tuition. It was the
Yeah.
miscellaneous fees, for publication,
Right.
internet fee, the like the
The ones
graduation.
that are not gonna be used or utilized, no?
Yes, so why not give it back to them, diba? So we refunded full miscellaneous fees for the fourth quarter for our kinder to grade 12 and half of the second semester for our college and graduate school because we start in August. So the lockdown was mid-March up to May, the end of May, which is half of our second semester. So we refunded done. And then nag-post na thank you NCC and then it snowballed from there. So
Right.
now I'm here.
That's how it
Yeah.
works.
Speaking of the post that she said, we have that. We got that. Someone said,
All
"Thank you
right,
very
game.
much
Let's show
for."
it.
And we took a picture of that post, Miguel. When someone said, "Thank you very much for returning our." Siya niya. Buti pa NCC nag-refund ng fees. And her name's from Rachel Owal,
Like you.
student. Yeah, for after getting her refund. And just to give people a visual so they can imagine how Northern College looks like, we have another photo that shows the building with a great history. Very new building, huh? And when we were talking to Telo, and next picture, let's just show it. So there, I would think that's the whole student body na yata, but that's Telo's mom. Dr. Paraan's mom and dad over there at the forefront in the
Oh,
center.
okay.
Yeah, and the next picture, merong magandang storya dyan, nakakatuwa. Yeah, that's so cute because they have basic
Earthquake
education. So
drill.
they have, that's an earthquake drill. How
Earthquake
cute.
drill
So,
for the kinder.
Is it really?
Yes,
yeah,
earthquake drill.
yeah,
So,
so they have primary students. These are
this
high
is
school
Tapatan.
already, I
This is
think. I
this
mean,
is Tapatan with the students. They have a chance to talk to me, tell me everything. No teachers,
oh,
me and
Oh,
them.
wow.
nice.
It's
Ang
like
galing
a very good feedback
naman.
system. So you get to know what's happening on the
Yeah.
ground.
Yes.
Yeah, that's great. I never even knew that. See, that's
But
wonderful.
I borrowed that from the school where I used to teach, though. Very open.
And this was
Yeah.
in
College, Manila.
Saint. Was this the one in Saint Paul?
Saints Co Manila. There is Tapatan.
So they.
Students
Oh,
in
so they do
office.
that also. So tell us about first, what is that good moral and the spiritual values? Because that can be very broad. But is there a particular, like Ateneo says that they're man for others? Yeah.
I will not comment on the show.
Parang may hugot yun ah.
That it's easy to say things, no? But it's not as easy to walk the talk, right?
Right.
And
Yeah.
before I want to address your first question, which is how were we able to do the refunding?
Right.
In
Right.
Mark in the Bible, it says, "What does it profit a man if he gains the world but loses his soul?" And we are
Right.
Christians. We want to walk the talk. People first, bago profit.
That's right.
We are blessed that the president now, Dr. Xavier Agnir, his financial savvy and his management skills enabled NCC to have this big reserve, financial reserves. And so it's
Right.
a question for him. We never stopped paying salaries, not at all. We paid full salaries during the lockdown, and then he said, we are going to make sure that our people do not suffer. And then even our timers, our part-time faculty, they had to show evidence that they were sending lessons. I had to go over what they sent, and then when the students submitted their outputs, they checked them, and once they submitted everything to me and I checked everything, they also got paid. So,
Yeah.
for us, when we talk about moral and spiritual values, it's not just talking about, oh, I'm a Christian and I go to church once a week. No,
Yeah.
you have to show in your life, in the
Right.
decisions you make, the actions. So Rachel and Rala, no, like you said, it sounds broad, but you see, diba, outcomes-based education na tayo ngayon, ano? So we have
Right.
7 institutional outcomes. These are our targets, and so they're information literacy, critical thinking, communication capability, cultural and social awareness and responsibility, ethical use of technology, gender respect, and Christian character. And these are all reflected
Nice.
the why.
So
So
it's like the core values of the school.
yes, and how do we see this? How do we expect to see this?
Yeah.
So
How am I supposed to apply it? If I'm the student or if I'm a teacher
Right,
of
right.
MPC,
Just
like
what's
how
your
do I apply
measure?
it? Yeah.
yes, so that's what outcomes-based education means, that there are performance indicators. It's no longer teacher-centered. I'm going to
Oh,
teach.
KPI, key performance
Oh, diba?
indicators.
Yes.
So, when we were growing up and the teacher would say, tinuro ko yan, and we're thinking, hindi mo naman tinuro eh.
Oh, we don't see it in him or
Yeah.
her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or nag-lecture
Yeah.
lang siya, that's not teaching.
Right.
So
Yeah.
you taught if they learn. So
Right.
how do you, right?
Yeah.
So how do you know if they learn? They have to be able to manifest
To
indicators
exhibit it. Yeah, that's right.
that are measurable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
Spoken
So
like a
that's
true
why.
teacher.
hindi na pwede yung
Yeah.
they understand. How do you know they understand? Were they able
Yeah.
to test it? Were they able to compare and contrast? Ganon.
Right.
So lahat ng institutional outcomes natin have performance indicators, no? So kanya-kanyang diskarte. For example, in the theology classes, how do you do the gender respect? Alam mo naman
Right.
sabihin, you have
Right.
to respect all genders, tapos na yun. But that's not teaching. Diba?
Right.
So yun, all these things that we do. So that is how we enflesh the malabong moral and spiritual values. So, tingnan mo ngayon nangyayari sa country natin. Diba? It all boils down to,
Yeah.
tao yan. Bakit ganyan magdesisyon? Ba't sila ganyan? It starts from
Yeah. And you should be part because diba ang center ngayon ng education of the country, they keep saying in the headlines that GMRC, good morals and right conduct, should be put back into the curriculum. And you're walking the talk and you can share like nuggets of wisdom on how to actually implement and roll that out. Because in Japan, how they are is really largely because that's ingrained in them from the very beginning, as young as
Right.
preschool. You'd see it in the video. So that's exactly what you are doing, and that's great. So, ay nang nakakagulat, na-return nila yung money, part of the tuition, when their tuition fees are how much?
like 500 something per unit.
500
something
pesos?
pesos per unit.
Per unit. 530,
Yeah.
540,
Yeah.
550.
Yeah, but you know, even in UP,
On the average,
can
the
you
basic education school, which is kinder to grade 12, on the average is 6,000 plus.
Right.
6,000? Imagine
Yeah,
that.
but
And
it's not the amount,
college,
it's the principle. Eh.
yeah, no, but the thing is, if you do the math, the operations of paying for the utilities, continuously paying for the salaries of the teachers, and yet, even with that small amount of the tuition, they were still able to return unused portion. Parang kung iisipin mo, eksakto lang yan. Utilities alone is a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah.
Yeah, but it's just right because yun nga, sabi niya, like if the field trip didn't happen, so syempre that is unused. If you really wisely allocated the money to be used just for the field trip. So That's amazing. But what's more amazing is how the story unraveled that she became the president-elect, which
Yan.
was done in
Very interesting story.
2016. So it really shows already the good succession planning. It just shows already the previous presidents, who's still the president now, how forward thinking he is. What a good manager. Para siyang yung storya ng past president is like the farmer or that worker in the Bible. Each of the three workers were given particular, was it jewels or
Yeah,
money? And
the
one said,
the
I'm so
parable of
proud.
the talents.
That's
The
right.
purple of the talents, I'm so proud because I didn't touch it and kept it underground. The other one used it
Right.
and made it
Multiplied it.
grow,
Yeah.
multiplied it. And I think that's so like the story of the past president. So could you please share how you became the president-elect?
Okay, how I okay, so you remember when the K to 12 started, a lot of the schools were worried because it meant that for 2 years there would be no incoming freshmen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because then from high school, what used to be high school, then they would have to go to grade 11 and then grade 12. So a lot of the
Right.
schools would see the writing on the wall. There was going to be no income for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Pati second year, wala, correct?
That's
So
right.
Saints Co, where I came from, offered a very generous early retirement package. And because on the same year, my mom was in the hospital, no, she had multiple surgery. And I'm the only daughter left here in the Philippines, no.
Okay.
I felt that I should go and help take care of her and my dad who's been, I mean, he's already in his 80s and he's still working so hard. And my husband, thankfully, was all for it. Kasi siya rin retired na.
Right.
So,
Very supportive.
yes, the thing is, I had already accepted a position with the Center for Global Best Practices, which is in
Right.
Alabang. So I'm the communication director for communication programs, and I'm on the dining room table. And then he asked if he could borrow it and show it to the board of trustees. So
Mm-hmm.
was elected president for life, but he was getting tired. He wants to write his memoirs. He wants to enjoy his grandchildren, and so he and mom want to travel. And so I said, okay, dad. But then my dad is very principled. He didn't want to submit my resume na with my name on it because then
Oh,
he felt that the board of trustees might feel compelled,
Pressured.
right.
constrained.
So
So
what? Did he need to change your name?
he had his secretary snowpick, as in
Wow.
erase my name, no? And so I wasn't the first one that he had put forward. Before, he was already asking the board of trustees that he was tired and this and that. But whoever came on to the table, the board of trustees, for some reason or other, were not happy with. But so this time when he did that, so it was blind for the first time. So they had a blind evaluation, and then they decided we want him. So one of the board members even said, "May we know his identity."
Him kasi Louis.
And then my no,
No,
wala.
it's a
No,
no.
kidding, I'm
Wala
kidding,
no.
I'm kidding, I'm kidding. I'm kidding, I'm kidding.
And then,
Anonymous pa.
I
and
know,
then,
and ano nga, diba?
diba, no? And then my
Right
dad,
out.
no, because my name is very feminine. It's Lucris Carina. Louis is my nickname. So
Right,
anyway,
right.
so yun. Then he said, you should vote first. Are you voting? And then we said, yes, we vote to take this gentleman. And then they said, may we know his identity? And then my dad produced.
Voila.
Yeah, voila. And no wonder. So just to give a context on that, of course she's very accomplished. We don't know what's in that resume, but she was awarded the best in thesis in when you were in UP for your, is it for your doctorate or for your master's?
Can you tell
Yes,
us
the
about that?
pinakamahusay na disertasyon sa antas graduado. That's what.
Talaga?
Anong field? Was it your child psychology education? What is it?
No, my PhD is in English studies, in pragmatics, especially, the use of language in context. And so I studied how Filipino heads of educational institutions transformed an American genre, which is the memo,
The
use
memo.
our cultural politeness.
Mm.
You have the memo, I mean,
Mm.
it's supposed to be direct and straightforward,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Yes,
But
yes.
but to Filipinos, you cannot be direct.
Right.
Yeah, they'll find it rude.
You sort
Yes,
of
it's
need to beat
rude.
around the bush
Rude.
before you get to your
And when
main
you
goal. That's right.
when you lose goodwill of your
Mm-hmm.
people, then that's like a huge step back. So in Philippine or
Yeah.
as in the Philippine workplace, we have transformed the memo into almost like lambing, you know?
Right.
It's no longer the American standard memo. And
Mm-hmm.
so, yun, I studied how Filipinos inject politeness strategies, how we do it, how we are able to not transgress cultural boundaries and still
Right.
use direct text. Essentially, that's what my dissertation was on.
Very interesting. Now
Yeah.
that you're saying that, parang I'm thinking, oh nga, no, medyo may ganun din yata ako.
Yeah, and I find it so, like reading a memo, I just want to get down to it. Like, ayoko na ng good day. Parang feeling ko,
Exactly. Wala naman dapat good day.
yeah, so parang, trust this finds you well. Parang, yeah, I won't be reading it if I'm sick now. So I so get it that
You know
it
what
has to
else?
be direct.
Let me just share this. You know what else we do is at the bottom we say for immediate compliance or for your guidance. That's not
Yes.
that's not standard. Why do you need to say that when that's exactly what the memo is for?
Right.
Right. And then for your
Parang
guidance, why I
redundant.
need guidance. So,
Diba? I mean, obviously, I will comply. Is there? It's not a suggestion. It's a memo, and yet we put
yeah,
for
but
compliance.
so I
Right.
think it's just lacking for lack of words to close the memo. That's why it comes out there for your guidance, for your compliance. Parang,
Or
yes,
because
it's a
they've
memo.
read
I
it
should
before, parang,
follow.
uy. Or they read it before, parang, uy, it sounds professional enough. Let me just copy that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But that's something that we have to adopt and adapt.
Right.
So that's why just saying that there was someone here who said beauty and brains, Doctora Paraan. Nice. And
Wow. Yan naman ang mga
aside from
fans.
Pearl, yeah, ang dami niyang fans talaga. Aside from Pearl
I'm
Fabian, who's
sure.
all the way from Queensland, there's Ira Lazo. Regards to Dr. Paraan Bernadette Ligot, who's also teaching there in National Christian College. Patoy Anyag, yeah, your Yolanda Floor, Learner Center, yay! Kudos to
Pakoy.
NCC. Yes, and Nelson Lacadin, watching from Northern Christian College, Lawag City. Of course, Soya and Bernadette Ligot. Wilma Castillo from Bungon, Batak City. And she's also from NCC, Lawag City too. Bea Agnir, I guess this is Pocholo's wife, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh.
Bea Agnir. I am a fan of Dr. Agnir Paraan. Nice. And this girl, we went to school together, but she's ahead of me. She was a supermodel, right?
Bea Recto, that's right. She was
Yeah,
a supermodel.
that's Bea Recto.
That's Bea.
Hello.
I'm a fan
And
of yours as well. Bea, I'm also your fan.
oh yes,
Wow,
Natalie
mutual
Andres
admiration.
and Marnie De La Cruz. Do you recognize that from Northern Christian College? So aside from that, actually, the shoes she has to step in is very big. It's such a huge accomplishment, and we have the background that's her dad. The dad has been president for 25 years and napaka-dedicated. Aside from the stories I've
Wow.
heard, napaka-dedicated, and the history I read, the dad was able to resuscitate the school. It had so much debt. It was really drowning in debt. And just relying on the little tuition fee. Was there ever an increase even? Relying on the tuition fee, not only was he able to bring it out of debt, but also built the buildings we saw. So with just little
Wow.
money and little donations, very little, not really. But of course, we're very thankful for the donations. But that's not what
Right.
built it.
Yeah.
So
Was it
now we
again the
want to know what.
Ilocano resiliency?
Yeah, the Ilocano resiliency, yun nga yung kuripot nature, yung kuripot characteristic.
Well, it's
So
not
now,
We're not.
Ayan na. Kidding.
hindi ba?
We are frugal.
Frugal.
There's a
Ano
difference.
ba
There's a
difference
difference.
nun?
Mas
What's the
maganda
difference?
frugal.
Frugal is spending wisely. But
Frugality is spending wisely, being economical, using your limited resources in the best way possible. That's frugality. That's what Xavier was saying, the tourism officer earlier.
Exactly. Yeah. That's why I brought it up.
Kaya ganyan ang food namin, no? Na-preserve. For 2 weeks, pasarap ng pasarap ang pinakbet. The longer it is. Diba?
I never knew.
Yes, the longer it's steeped in its monamon bagoong and the juices.
Talaga?
Yeah.
Kaya nga, tatago ko nga ng 1 month yung amin.
Diba?
No, I mean, hindi ba mabubulok yung kalabasa and
In Ilocano pinakbet.
Yun.
kalabasa. I see. No, I never knew. So just the beans.
That's sa Tagalog. No, we have patani, we have the beans, and you never see that, no? We have bagnet, and then it's a fish.
I love bagnet.
Favorite.
Bagoong manaman, which is a little fish na sarap-sarap na ang bango-bango. Yes.
Yeah, sa inyo pala yun. So sa atin mabango, pero not for other people.
That's true.
So, what are your plans now? I mean, you're the pandemic president-elect.
Yep, that's right.
How will you weather this? I mean, how will school be conducted, learning be conducted, because it's homeschooling, but how is connectivity there in Ilocos? So please tell us so that that's something that can inspire and motivate other schools also to
Yes,
follow.
please.
Okay, I would like to say that, we have amazing, tremendous support from the Commission on Higher Education, not just on the regional level, but on the national level. Regional Office 1 has been giving webinars from, led by experts, so we have been benefiting from that. In fact, our chat group in the Messenger, napansin ko, hindi lang Region 1, yung mga kasama, no? Nakikisali na rin. But
Yung mga neighbors.
But no, all the way down south. And this is the
Okay.
this is the bayanihan spirit that Chairman Popoy of CHED was talking about. No, we have to move together. So this time of the pandemic, you have to look at it from this point of view. This is our chance to come together and help each other. Parang yung sa parang yung sa mask, di ba? Some countries look at it as, I don't want to wear a mask, it's infringing on my rights and liberties. But tayo
Right.
Oh, grabe yun.
Hindi tayo,
I still don't get that.
hindi natin problema wearing a mask because we know I protect myself, I protect my friends.
Exactly.
That's the point. So,
Right.
Bayanihan spirit of the Commission on Higher Education. No, we've been helping each other. We've been sharing resources. The CHED opened an OER, no, all resources free, and then that you can.
Wow.
Yes, and then PAYAC. Also, I have to mention PAYAC. Amazing.
Good job, Ched.
Yes, PAYAC and CHED, no, very, very, very helpful. And then you know how even the Catholic Educators Association of the Philippines, SEA, our school is a member of Christian, not Roman Catholic, and we have been getting help from them. You see what I'm saying? No, we're all
Yeah.
Because there's ay mas magaling sila.
Galing, ano? Yeah.
We're all helping because we're talking about the future of our youth.
It's about time anyway.
We have to
unite. Exactly.
Diba? And remember, sabi ni Xavier kanina, you have to stay relevant. That goes for schools as well. You have to stay relevant. And then if you're a teacher, you cannot stagnate. You have to keep learning. Right?
That's true.
So we had to have training for our teachers, and how to navigate the internet, the classroom. So doing Google Classroom, doing Edmodo, all of these things. So we've been having workshops and training. At the same time, since we're talking about equity, no student should be disadvantaged just because he or she doesn't have internet, correct?
Right.
Every student should
Good.
have
So
access. So it's
Yeah.
online and offline. So at the same time that we've been training our teachers to do the internet classroom, we've also been having workshops on making modules, learning
Oh,
packets,
nice.
because there will be students who would rather get the learning packets.
Okay.
and
Right.
Dr. Paraan here still also has teaching loads. Will you maintain your teaching load while president?
I don't think she can stop.
Out of the classroom.
It just flows out of her. She can't stop teaching.
I love teaching. I became a teacher. I did not go to become a president of a school. It just
So
happened.
you have to prepare the modules
Right.
also.
Yes. In fact, right now we're having summer classes because Northern Christian College is the only school that heeded the call here, no, in our area, that heeded the call of Commissioner on Higher Education to continue to accept returning students in the old curriculum. Di ba nag-shift na tayo to
Mm.
nagdagsaan ang mga
Yeah.
returning students. But many schools
Yes.
decided they didn't want to take them anymore because then it would mean you're running two sets at the same time. That's
That's
expensive
right.
and hard.
Mm-hmm.
So, but because we're a Christian institution, we accepted them. So we have old curriculum and new curriculum. But since the old curriculum is supposed to be phased out by next year, we're having summer classes for them. And Ched knows,
Okay.
and so
Right.
the first day is face to
The
face.
transition.
Yes. The first day is face to face so that they can graduate with the old curriculum. They don't have to start from square one sa bago. Kawawa naman. Diba?
Yeah.
So that's
So
why
when you mention
yes.
So when you mention teacher training, who is conducting? Because we're all new to this online learning. This is not widely practiced here in the country. So who is doing the teacher training? Who's conducting?
Was it like
Well,
outsourced?
we are blessed that one professor in our faculty is so good,
Tech savvy.
very not just tech savvy, but he knows everything. He even knows he's taught us so many things, and that's one thing about Northern Christian College. We're really like a family. And I said, can I make you my special assistant for this transition to blended learning? And he said yes right away. So he was the one who searched for all the resources. No, so
He
it's
became
like
the champion.
yeah. If you go to the Google Classroom, no, the Google Classrooms, we actually have someone teaching you how to do it. You can do it step by step. It's so easy. It's so easy.
Okay.
Meron lang mga
Well, I never
Meron lang
So
mga
now you're also a tech savvy na, Louie.
a little bit.
So how will the modules be given out? Will it be returned? How will it be checked?
Yeah.
So what's your plan for that?
Good question. So we did that during the lockdown, no? So nung ECQ, hindi talaga pwede. So we were doing it texting, email, messenger chat. Pero mahirap yon, di ba? So, kasi even if you send them the lessons, how do they, di ba? So,
Yeah.
Okay, so
Exactly.
when the ECQ was lifted, naging modified GCQ na, the parents came and picked up learning packets for kinder up to grade 12, no? And then for the yung mga college namin, we asked them if do you want to continue online? Do you want to come here? So depende. Ang naging naming problema, yung hindi taga Ilocos Norte because they still can't travel. They still
Right.
have to be quarantined, right?
Yeah.
To come for one day to pick up something would have meant 14 days in quarantine.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not to mention
That's required. Eh.
yeah, not to mention the expense because there was no transportation. So
Right.
it was good. We had offline and online combo. So those who chose the packets came and picked it up through their parents. Ang lagi talagang yung mga outside of Ilocos Norte. So we continued doing it online, in any possible way. The other thing we did was we changed the distribution of grades, no? Kasi kawawa naman, lockdown, hindi nila kasalanan yun. So instead of magiging siyang 25%, transmute namin yung existing 75% naging larger. So yung lockdown, 10% na lang. Kasi,
Yung weight, you mean the weight?
the weight, diba? That's
Okay.
as consideration. Then the other thing,
Very dynamic.
yeah, the other thing we did was to add the IP grade, no, in progress.
Okay.
Sabi ni Commissioner Popoy, please search for ways, show compassion, understanding.
Yeah.
How do we,
Get creative.
That's so true. And Dr. Briones of DepEd also made the same appeal, no? Please try to understand. And that's the reason I'm telling you, when the president decided we continue to pay salaries, when I decided we refund miscellaneous fees, it's because our priorities are different. That's all it is. Yes, masasaktan kami income-wise. Of course.
Right.
But
Yeah.
priority.
But you need to uphold the values of the school.
Exactly. You don't
To be
walk the
congruent.
nothing. Diba? Sasabihin
Yeah.
ka mo, sasabihin mo joke lang, ano ka?
So speaking of revenues and the values of the school, it's such a good value to uphold and to instill in children because it has to start from the very beginning. So 2 questions. Are you planning to grow the population of the student body? And have you had increase in tuition, and are you planning to have increase much? Was there a plan? Not now because of what happened suddenly, blindsidedly, but was there?
Yes, actually, 2019 increased, no, our tuition, so parang 40 pesos.
Okay. And what was the rationale behind that?
Increase.
And you know that the bulk of the increase should go to the teachers.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the reason naman
That's
talaga.
40 pesos per module? Per
unit.
Per unit pala, sorry, per unit. Okay.
Per unit. X3 units, that's 120.
Oo.
Why do we talk about units? Do you have more college students? Is the student population more college than high school and grade school?
No, iba talaga kasi ang assignment of units. Like for example, you have for field study, for example, that's 1 unit. No? Then you have the nursing, there's a nursing subject with 5 units. Depends the number of hours spent with that. It's the same from kinder. Merong 1 unit lang, may 2, may 3. So number of hours spent.
So that applies for high school and grade school also?
All. Yeah.
Across the board. Okay.
So wait, let me answer your question about what do I plan to do, no? So, okay, because even before the pandemic happened, of course, we already wanted to upgrade our existing facilities. You know that we have, because we have a speech lab, no? We have a full hospital simulation floor. We have an operating room. We have an emergency room. We have a scrub room. We have an orthopedic ward. We have a surgical ward. We have a mini hotel, hotel for our hospitality management students, no? So of course we want to keep upgrading those. We also want to strengthen our existing degree programs like BS theology, no? Of course we want to strengthen that. And then since we're
theology.
the school offering social work, BS social work in this area, we want to strengthen. Yes, we want to strengthen that as well. And because our nursing students have topped, have been in the top 3, top 5, top 10. We want to continue strengthening that program. And you cannot get, it's a reality. Of course, you must validate your teachers, no? You have to give them good salaries. And this is one of the things that the president has done, no? Talagang but what can you do with konti lang, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's a balancing act.
Yeah.
Yeah, and speaking of balancing act, I just like to mention hi to Dulce, your fan all the way from Sonoma in California. And speaking of balancing act, we want to ask you so much more on what the plans are that would inspire other people. But it's 3:01 p.m. and there's another show coming right up. It was such a good discussion. Thank you very much.
Thank you very
Tilo. Thank you for
much.
Always
sharing
a
your
pleasure.
time
Love and
and
Rachel.
what you're doing there.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
God bless you.
All right.
God
God bless.
bless,
Thank you.
and
Happy
thank you
weekend.
very much. Happy weekend. Such a good finale for the season. We'll be back and we'll be replaying this so that more people can watch it. Thank you very much for all those who joined and watched us all the way from Tacloban and of course Ilocos.
Absolutely.
Great, and
Thank
please stay
you.
tuned because Making a Difference is right after
In the
us
next show.
watching on Facebook and YouTube. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.
Ano na nga ba ang nangyayari sa Pinas? May pagbabago ba? Umuunlad ba tayo? Kausapin natin ang iba't ibang namumuno sa mga lokal na pamahalaan at national agencies na sumusuporta sa mga proyekto para sa kaunlaran. Libutin natin ang iba't ibang lugar sa Luzon, Visayas at Mindanao para malaman ang mga pagbabago at mga bagong destinasyon. Kilalanin kung sino-sino ang mga nasa LGU. Ano ba ang impact ng LGU sa araw-araw nating pamumuhay? Learn more about your city dito sa KPI, Kaunlaran at Pagbabago para sa inyo. KPI, Kaunlaran at Pagbabago para sa inyo. Samahan si Rachel Bonus at Raul Santos tuwing Sabado, 1:00 ng hapon, Philippine Time. KPI, Kaunlaran at Pagbabago para sa inyo. KPI, Kaunlaran at Pagbabago para sa inyo. Dito lang yan para sa inyo sa V81 Radio. Tunog Pinoy, Tatak Pinoy, the future of radio. This is your all hits, all Pinoy internet radio station. This is V81 Radio Worldwide.
Ito ang paborito ng bawat Pilipino. Basta all hits, all Pinoy, panalo. Merong kwentong iyakan at tawanan. Kahit nasaan ka man, ito'y mapapakinggan. Oh, V81 Radio, V81 Radio. Ito ang radio mo, ito ang radio ko. V81 Radio, V81 Radio. Dahil mahal namin kayo. V81 Radio, V81 Radio. Para sa inyo ito, V81 Radio.